Yeah, you right, Runar. More like riding gaze, but I'm here now. I was just trying to get my webcam working because it wasn't working. Oh, there's my whole Streamlab setup. Cool. Alright, so, if you guys don't know, I made a MMO called RuneScape and posted to YouTube a couple days ago. It's really hard, Runar. I'm about to show you. And this is what it looks like, essentially. I'm going to start up the server here because that's where everything runs. And then we're going to go ahead and log in. So, don't look at my password. Actually, why don't I blow all of this up here, just so I can show off everything. Alright. I'm going to give it a second to kind of load my body in. There we go. Okay. Oh, it doesn't have my sword. It does have my sword, it's just not equipped properly. There we go. Okay, so I'll equip that back. Alright. I should play iRacing. I went to game school, but I dropped after 3/4 of a semester because of maths. I think I tried iRacing, but I'm not sure if I liked it that much. The only racing games I like are Forza and Dirt Rally, if that makes sense. Alright, so showing off all the systems, this is basically like all of this stuff works. As you can see, I have pink hair like Terry. But we'll just go ahead and equip that back. Generated random white space in my inventory, unfortunately. So the inventory works, you can equip and unequip. We have a stat system here, similar to RuneScape's. Now I'm officially signed up to your team for the 24 hours of Mons. I don't think that's a smart idea. So we can track our attack, our strength, our defense, all of that stuff, and it has stat values, and you can level up with it. Right now there's no level up animation, but this determines what experience we get for our stats. So if we select controlled, we get different animations based on that. Defensive gives us different animations entirely. Aggressive gives us different animations, although they're a little off with my mesh for whatever reason. It doesn't look synced up. I don't know why. And then there's accurate. So we have to make some changes to our animations, though. There. Let's go ahead and switch to aggressive and check out if these monsters work. So this guy, he doesn't like that I invaded him. He's going to attack me. I am unfortunately too powerful for these monsters. Oh, they're both attacking me. So I can pretty much one-shot them. Oh, okay. No, I can't. Oh, man. What happened to my health? Okay, well, I just got bamboozled and died. That's not good. Yeah, that was, it's a little interesting, because it doesn't save my stats, but here, I'm gonna, or it doesn't save my health, I don't think, if I die. Let me go ahead and log into the database here real quick. Alright, so this is my character. That's why. So I logged in with 2 HP instead of 11, which is my stat level. So I got one shot essentially. We're gonna go ahead and change that, and go ahead and go back to our user account here. Give me my armor back. Oh no. What has happened? Why you no grab my data? Alright, the server appears to be lagging. I am the one who wrote the server code, so it would appear that it's my fault. Hey, there we go. Okay, it picked it. Everything's back to normal. I got some gold, though. There we go. Let's equip that sword again. Try to click on that like 4 times, but the icon's too small. Alright, so now I should be able to kill these guys with one hit. I thought I was OP. Oh, this guy's OP. What the hell? Alright, so besides all that, I was showing off all that. There's some pigs and stuff over here. I can't even one-shot people anymore like I thought I could. At least the inventory system works. I got that going for me. Let's go kill some pigs. Some piggy wiggies. Look at how fat these things are. I'm gonna get all of them to chase after me. Chase me, piggies. Chase me. Pay attention. Stop. Come on, piggies. Come on, piggies. Piggies. Yeah, there you go. Why, oh, they can't make it out of here, I don't think, because I don't have nav mesh enabled. But they can chase me around the pen, like the pen. Yeah, here we go. Oh yeah. Look at these pigs. These mad lads on a charge. Alright, they're all stuck in that corner attacking each other now, so... I'm gonna try to attack the goblins and not the pigs. That's one goblin down. There's the other one. Come on. That's another one down. Okay, now I can leave the pigs alone. Alright, so... the only other gameplay feature I'd show off is the chat system, which is, I'll just say, you guys are my favorite people. The pigs are protected. Fine, fine. I'll do a little dance. Oh, yeah. What other dances can we do? This one goes on for a long time, doesn't it? I forgot how long I looped it for. I may have to do some animation and realignment on these, because they don't seem to be working properly. Hula hoop dance. Shouldn't last that long. Oh, and to finish it all off, why don't I do the best part? As soon as this hula hoop ends. Come on. There we go. Dab on him. Oh, beautiful. Just one more time to. Oh. It's infected, Runar. So there are some errors that are thrown. We'll work on those in a minute, but so what I want to change a little bit is to make this feel a little more authentic to RuneScape is something with the scripting that we did, and that's how we calculate our damage. So I'm going to open up our character model here, and no, don't unsubscribe. I'm going to open up our character model and go through our damage calculation, which is all set up over here. It's a lot of maths involving random variables and randomness, but we're going to have to make some changes to it. Yeah, this is a lot of, essentially, code. So, basically, I don't like how much damage we end up doing. I feel like it's too much. I am not an electrician. So I might change some of these numbers up a little bit. Shoot. Okay. This is problematic. I don't know how to change it. Uh, it's not so much confusing as figuring out what I need to do to change this correctly to how I want it. So basically, what happens, and I'll just use the slash attack, but it's the same code replicated for all the stabs and everything like that. So let's say you're using slash attack. It's gonna compare your attack plus your attack slash bonus, which is your gear bonus, versus the enemy's defense and their defense against slash attacks. Um, and so let's say yours is you have a greater attack bonus. What it immediately does is runs this take damage function. And the damage that it's plugging in is going to be our strength, which is strength level, multiplied by 1.3, and then rounds it down to whatever. It's like if our strength level is 6, or sorry, let's say our strength level is 2, it multiplies it by 1.3, and then round that down to like probably 2, as it's closer, or even 3. And plugs that into the damage. What we want to do though is basically the higher strength level you get, you end up with some ridiculous combos. So like my strength level, according to the database, is only level 4, but I hit for like 7 damage in some instances. That's too much. So we need to figure out a way to change this so that it's not doing so much damage. The easiest way to do that is just change it to 1.1. And that's automatically going to reduce the amount of damage, but we don't want to do it like that. What we might end up doing is instead running some different code off of this here. So with all of these, like for example, if our bonus is equal to our enemy's bonus, it just runs our strength level for damage. And if it's less, we have it runs it doesn't run our strength level directly. It instead chooses a range. So like if our bonus is equal, you have a 65% chance to essentially deal your strength as damage, and if you fail that 65% check, you deal zero damage. That number gets significantly lower. Ooh, did I? I think I messed something up here. I did mess something up. Here we go. That's what I messed up. I forgot to plug that pin in. And I forgot to do it on all of these. And so that's why I'm doing so much crazy damage. So we're just going to reconnect all of these ends here. And that should fix most of the problems with that damage level being too high. There's a lot of wires. This is a lot of code. Okay, so there's a couple of bugs that I want to look at too. One of them is that we're always applying attack experience for some reason, no matter what damage type we're using, which means our attack essentially power levels, and it's not supposed to. And I can't figure out why it's always applying attack experience and not just what it's supposed to, but it is, and it's a little concerning, but that seems to be okay. All of this seems to be plugged in correctly. And it seems to be all getting the same, or the correct elements here. So I don't know where exactly it's failing. Or not failing, but where exactly it's running incorrectly here. At this point, I should probably pays better than game dev. It definitely pays better than being a journalist. I'll say that much. Let's see. So if that's doing that, right? So it's, if we choose all, which it should never necessarily choose, but it is. And it runs that. It runs that, it runs that, and then connects all the way up to con. I can't see where my logic is failing, but it is. And I don't know why. That's okay. When will I do a segment on my sister town, Hamar? Whenever my boss lets me. Which so far seems to be never. Maybe need to share experience. I mean, my best guess is what's happening is that when we're adding the experience, the share type that we're adding in isn't replicating. That's my best guess as to what could possibly be happening here. But ultimately, that doesn't make 100% sense. So it's multicast. It's, yeah. It should work just fine. It's so weird because it also does add the strength. It's just it also adds attack for some reason, and I don't know why. What if I just do is case sensitive? I wonder if that'll work. Oh dang, I can do fancy stuff now. There's a filter setting that you can also use, but right now it's not 100% working because I don't have Snap Camera on. Because when I have Snap Camera on, it tends to crash my stream. Okay, so most of the features are working as intended. I think what I want to do next is mess around with maybe, well, you know, what would you guys like to see? The rundown of the features so far that I've implemented. Okay, I can play the demo again, Recon. One second, let me turn my light on real quick. Excuse me. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and hit log in here, and that'll send us to the worlds. It's going to take a second to actually load up our gear, so give it a moment. Okay. Didn't even try to load up our gear. One second. I'm going to restart the server. There we go. Okay. So our gear's loaded up. This is still a bug that I need to fix, but I don't understand why it doesn't work.
Alright.
Hey, thanks for following. Ejaz. Appreciate it. So, basic content. This is an account I've already been messing around with here for a little bit. I have a couple of items in this game already. So, the bronze gear is the basics. Let me go somewhere with more light. Maybe I can... that doesn't seem like it has more light, actually. Okay, that has less light. Let's go out here where we're not in the shade of the castle. Here we go. So this is a, bronze chainmail, bronze kite shield, bronze longsword, our bronze medium helmet. That's all in there. A lot of these, from my earlier tests, a lot of times what it ended up dropping was bronze medium helmets while I was testing. And actually, I think that's something we need to work on is the loot that these are goblins. They're a little big, but alright, let's check that out. Oh, hey, so slight issue with our health. Unless it's not a slight issue. Let me look here. Okay, no, that's correct. Our health is set to 9. Okay. So, how long have I been working on this? I put out a YouTube video or yesterday. I got challenged to do this 2 weeks ago. So, this is 2 weeks of blueprint work, of 3D modeling, of world building, a little bit of stuff like that. Yeah. So let's go ahead and close out of our stats tab, our armory, and our inventory. And let's look at... This is the only thing that bugs me, right? Is the AI is not exactly smart. He sees me, and so he'll come to attack me. And now he's in the correct range. But, okay, there we go. He missed there. Now he's hitting me. Missed again. Because he's not close enough. He actually has to get to me. Now he's just glitched out entirely. So AI programming isn't perfection here. I wish it was better, but... do I have a background in game dev? So... It's weird to say I have a background in it. I have made one game before called Captivus that made it on the Steam store. Wasn't very good, but it did teach me enough about networking in MySQL. That game's no longer up. It's no longer supported. Most of my background comes from about, like... So I'm 24, turning 25. I've been tinkering around with game engines since I was, like, 10 years old. Like, I'm talking the first Game Maker 3D, I had that on CD. So my background in game dev isn't really for any company or, making a lot of games, but it's like a number of failed projects over, like, God, if I started at 10, like 14 years, right? Me just tinkering around with stuff. And so this was Unreal Engine I picked up probably like 4 or 5 years ago. So that's why I feel comfortable with the blueprint system. And pretty much anything in Unreal Engine, whether it's blueprints or C++ or whatever you're coding, can be learned or taught. Like, it's just so simple because the blueprint system is essentially just like putting your logic into visual. So I'm a very visual person, which is why like C++ and Java aren't exactly my thing. I can program in them, but the blueprint visualization for me is what really drew me to Unreal Engine over Unity, for example. And you type in what you want to do. Have I heard of Bolt? I have not, actually. I did just see something about somebody Unity buying out Bolt, I think, right? I don't know what it is, though. Oh, actually, so here's to show you what we just saw. I swung my sword, and now I'm level 8 in attack. And if we switch over to, say, aggressive, for example, as our attack style, we can get different experience based on that. So, I'm still going to one-shot people here because my strength level is level 4. Blueprint equivalent, maybe. So, Unity is doing something with, like similar to... Oh god, don't hit me. No, I don't want to die. No, 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 no! Oh, no! Alright, well, there... I'm dead. Okay. So I was trying to demonstrate goblins to aggro. So, that actually brings up a point of something we want to implement here. So I want to bring up some sort of display when we level up a stat. So let's go ahead and go to our UI and build something for that. I'm actually going to copy my chat box for this. Kind of. A little bit. I might just duplicate it and then... Actually, we don't have to necessarily duplicate it. What we can do is use some of the functionality that's built into it. So mobs always, will mobs always aggro? Or will you make it to where if your level is high enough, they'll ignore you? Right now, they will always aggro, Colton. That is, AI is like an entirely different ballgame, and that's really what's going to drive this game. So I can actually implement that now, where I can make them ignore me based on what my combat level is. So that's a good feature that we should implement. In the default RuneScape or old school RuneScape, if you looked at how goblins and those mobs work, they were neutral until you attacked them. So right now I have goblins aggroing, which isn't exactly true to the base game, but then again, at the same time, I can't 100% copy RuneScape before Jagex is like, oh, time to sue the pants off of you. So two things we're going to do. We're going to do a level up function that we're going to build. And then we're going to also build or build in the function for ignoring aggro if we're high enough level. Okay, so let's go into our US character, and this is going to build off of our add experience function. Okay. So now we're going to build a client-side functionality. So, so we need to get our player controller reference here as well. I might already reference it somewhere. I'm going to send a double check. Okay, I don't reference it anywhere here. So let's just do a get controller. And then we're going to cast to the player controller class we built. So USPC is what I have it called in mine. You can call it whatever you want if you're following along. And we're just going to kind of extend this off of all of this. So we'll copy and paste this function because it's going to be pretty similar. So will they sue because you're doing this, or only if you make it public, like hearing between friends, etc.? So I don't think they can sue me if I don't release this to the public. Obviously, it's because it's just a fan project essentially at that point. Have I made a bow? No, I have not made a bow. What I have done is made the animations for the bow, for shooting a bow. So that's in the works at some point. So I built a function earlier in my player controller to handle chat, and that function's called sorry, where is it? It's up here somewhere. Send message. What this does is in our chat box, if we send a message, it sends it to the server first, and then the server plays a receive message. So that sends it to everybody that we leveled up. So we might actually want to change this a little bit on how we... Or at the same time, we could let everybody know that we leveled up. I am lazy, but I also want to congratulate people. I think it'd be cool to let everybody know that we leveled up. So we're going to import some text, and we are going to go ahead and grab this username variable that is set upon login. Make a skill cape. Yeah, I will at some point. And we're just going to add some text. Leveled up. Let's actually make it a string. So we'll do text or string to text here. And we're going to append this so that we can add multiple lines. So our first line is going to want to say leveled up our attack stat. So let's do their attack 2, and then we're just going to plug in this, right? And this is gonna send. I know. Yeah, I know, but I'm gonna do proximity-based chat right now. It sends it to everybody on the server, but I think I'll do like a local chat at some point for just people that are within range of it. Um, so leveled up their attack to whatever the level is. Excuse me. And then we're gonna want to play a little sound. So, um, we're gonna play sound at location on this one, and our location is just gonna be get actor location. You can leave it as self because US character is a or character. My US character is a parent class or child of character, and character is a child of actor, as all assets in Unreal are. Metallica for leveling up. We're gonna see if I have any sound assets that'll work. I might not have any in here. I have a pickup sound. Okay. Alright, so that's time to go to my favorite website. Am I ready yet? So let's just find a little victory. We'll just search victory, and I'm gonna sample out everything and just do sound effect, and we'll find something here. So that's not really playing anything. I don't like that.
One, two.
Okay, so I don't like any of these. So let's go to Audacity, and let's go to Guardians custom content, and let's drag over our Harmony song, and we're just gonna look through this for maybe a little jingle that we can use. Okay. I like this. We can trim some of this. So, let's copy and paste that. Let's get rid of some of the fat there. Perfect. And then we're going to do a fade out on this. Another fade out. We'll fade in a little longer there. Okay. That's kind of an okay sound effect until we can replace it with something, right? Want to know if there's anything else I want to put on it. Maybe if we reverse it. No, that reverse doesn't really work. The official companies, thanks for following. Hopefully you can learn something from what I'm doing here. So reversing it didn't sound that great. What if we add an echo to it? Thank you for following, Runar. Okay, I don't even think you can notice the echo, so let's not use that. Maybe we'll add some reverb to it. Did I hit repeat first? What did I do the first time? Oh. Oh, okay, there, never mind. Okay. Let's do some reverb. Let's just turn it all the way up. I don't like the reverb sound. Use the Windows to DOS sound. What if we had an wall out of this? Okay. We're just gonna take this part here. So let's we'll just export it. Need to make it a wave because or WAV or whatever it's pronounced. Let's just do level up sound. Unreal Engine doesn't like any other file type for sound other than .wave. There are workarounds around it, but it just really doesn't like it. So, okay, let's go ahead and import that. What did we call it again? Level up sound. I'm gonna make that to like a 0.5. We don't want it to deafen everybody, but we want it to be there. We don't want it to loop either. So let's play sound level up. Okay. I'm gonna go into my database because I died. My HP is 3. And let's set this to 11 again. And we're going to work on leveling up our defense. So we need to copy this code over to all of our level up functions in this situation here, right? So that it runs on all of them. So when our strength is set, I'm just going to boom, boom. We need to do it for Constitution as well, but I'm not too worried about doing that right now. I just want to test that the function works. So we're going to run it on our defense, because that's where we're going to focus on leveling up. And if that works as it's supposed to, we should get the sound, and we should get a message. So let's go ahead and check that out here. Ooh, you know what? So because it's a server-side function, we have to go ahead and rebuild the server software. Yes, I realize that my project name in Unreal Frontend is called Poop. Pro tip for anybody using Unreal Engine for the first time. Unreal Frontend will make your build and package times incredibly short. I highly recommend using it over the built-in function that's up here. This is very slow. It does not work well. It's kind of the same function, but for whatever reason, when you build Unreal Frontend, it just works blazingly fast compared to everything else. Okay, let's go ahead and close this out. We don't need that up right now. So while we wait for this to build, which it's already done building, now it just has to cook and package. That's just one. So we built a level up function, essentially. We already had all of the things we needed for leveling up, but this time we added something to recognize that we leveled up. So that. I feel like that's important to. Runar uploaded to Todd. Okay. I'll download it. Ugh. Thank you, Runar. I'll implement that in the next version of it. Okay, so build is done. Let's go ahead and start up our server. I have a shortcut so it starts correctly. And once that says it's started, okay, so we have a connection here. Okay, the connection to the main database is open. Put me in the credits as idea guy. My lovely fans as idea guys. Okay, so let's give that a second to recognize, if it does recognize. Nope, it's lagging right now. We can walk around though in the meantime. Look at this beautiful fountain. I didn't show you guys the rest of the castle. This is the castle in Lumbridge, which is not the best lighting I've ever done. I'll admit that I am a newbie when it comes to lighting in Unreal Engine. This is the chef's room. Alright, it would appear that it did not register my initialized character function there, so let's try that again. Come on. Come on. Alright, let's try this one more time. Because there might be a new bug that we just introduced that I don't know about. Says it's open. So if it is open, should be able to log in. And it should work just fine. Nope. It's registering our connection, but not calling the correct function. Okay, let's test out leveling up anyways, so... We are gaining experience for all that. We should die soon. Okay. But so far, no level up on strength yet, or attack. So let's go ahead and go to this guy over here. I haven't implemented the to-die yet, Runar. Alright, no level up there. Let's go ahead and try our luck on the goblins. It could also be that the server is just not... Yeah, this is not working. It's not recognizing me as a character for whatever reason. Picked up gold, at least. Got that going for us. Yeah, dodge me with that. Oh no, don't hit me, please. Hey, that worked. So we might want to add a space, but it told us that our attack was leveled up. Not exactly perfect. Because it sends it twice. Which is a little problematic. Oh, and then I just noticed another bug. It's playing a hit react montage on the wrong skeleton, so we gotta change that. Okay. So it should never play twice, is the thing. That was weird. So let's go ahead and look at that. And yes, Runar, I will go ahead and find your Tada thing in a second here. So it should only send the message once. But it's not. Oh, let's remove this pen, sorry. Also, we want to add a separation between... Yeah, we want to add a space to all of these so that it works. And let's go ahead and add one for our Constitution as well, because we need that. I don't know why it's not sending that properly. Like, it should only ever send once, because there's only one connected player, essentially. So it should only send that receive message once to one person. I'm a little confused, and the multiplayer replication stuff in Unreal Engine is miles ahead of where I'm at personally, but what was the other bug we noticed, too? There's one other one, right? That was in-game that I saw. Yeah, I will add the Tada in a second, but there was another bug Oh, the hit montage on these guys. So let's go ahead and go into them real quick. Because they play a custom animation. They're supposed to play a custom animation. No, okay, no, that's working. Oh, no, it's not working. Because of the take damage function. That's why. Oh, boy. Alright, so we have to look at how we approach our take damage function now, too. And we might have to add a custom animation for this, and we can call that, let's call it hit animation. And so this is just going to be animation montage. And it's going to be instance editable. We're going to want it to replicate. And let's go ahead and plug all of these in here correctly. Okay, perfect. We need to set a default, so for us it's going to be our hit react front montage. But, for example, for a goblin, we want it to play something different, right? So in begin play, we want to set its animation to something different, so we want to set its animation to the correct one, which is, there should be a hit react somewhere here for this. Let's look. I have some animations. It'd be under character, enemy troll, enemy animation. Maybe I didn't make a hit react animation yet. Yeah, I didn't. There we go. So let's go ahead and create a new animation montage. And we're going to go ahead and assign this to our upper body slot. So, like so. Default group upper body. And so when he gets hit, there should be a hit reaction to it now. And then let's go ahead and set that up in... There we go. And so now... Oh god, no, yeah, that's fine. Parent begin play is fine. Okay. So that should take care of all of that. And then let's just make sure that our...
Okay, so if I donate to you, that means that you are making money from this, which means that Jagex will sue you, right?
Oh god. It's possible. Thank you for the donation, Ren. I appreciate it. Please... I don't know if they'll sue me for that, but... Thank you for the tip. I appreciate it. Thank you for the message, too. You made me laugh, Radar. I'm going to reconnect that because it didn't seem like it was actually initializing our character, even registering that we were joining last time. Let's try rebuilding. Oh, no. Canceled. Here, 1 second. I want to check something before I build. If it works properly. It might not work. It did not work. Uh-oh. Did that work? Yeah, that worked. Cool. Hi, guys. Give me a second, because I do want to add Runar's to Da, but I'm not sure where the sound file is. Okay, here we go. Runar, I'm adding your Tada. Let's make that a 0.75. Okay. And let's go back into this before we do the rebuild. And make sure that we set the correct sound. So Ta-da! Okay, let's do a quick build. And we'll test out, hopefully the server login process works again now that we reconnected things. Sometimes I'll notice, and I don't know if this is an Unreal bug or just the way blueprints work. If I, for example, from one build to the next, it will mess up a function, even if I haven't changed anything. So, like, for example, I have this initialize character function, which calls from the database all the relevant details, like what our inventory looks like, what we have equipped. Thank you for the tip,
I will
Fruiter.
keep donating until Jagex sues you.
Oh,
Carrot
God.
p chugga 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 chugga. Dodo Dogo 99 bread balloobs www.7777 pppp.
Sorry, I have to look at what this. Thank you, Runar. Thank you for trying to get me sued. I appreciate that. Okay, let's try this out again. I can just change my game. It doesn't have to be RuneScape. Okay, it's connected to the database, so this time it should work. It should pull our character data, if I can type in my name correctly. So let's go ahead and try this. No, why are you not working? Oh, wait. What? Oh, no, okay, it did work. It just hasn't finished grabbing the data yet. Because it told me it grabbed the data, but it... Get out of the way, punk. I'm fully... There we go. Here we go. See? Okay. It took forever, but it worked. Let's equip our sword. And let's go and kill a goblin. I'm going to go into defensive style because we want to level up our defensive experience. It's level 3 right now. And we want to hear that sweet ta-da sound, right, Runar? Oh, okay. Just one-shot that guy. Haha. He just got one-shot again, too. Haha. All these goblins were getting wrecked by my mighty damage. Haha. Haha. Oh, he didn't. He's angry. Haha. Oh no. Ow. I need to... It might take me a while to get level 4 defense, actually. The way the experience scales. That guy did. Alright, mister. There's no trolls left for me to fight. So, it's just you, buddy. You're big and scary. I'm hitting him. He didn't hit me back, though, unfortunately. Oh, God. How did he come back to life? What? Alright, there's some glitches for you. I didn't level up yet, Runar. Let's log back in. And let's give it a second to get my data here. God, I don't know why it's so slow at retrieving it now. It used to be blazing fast. Come on, pull my stats, please. Let's see how close we actually are to leveling up. Um, so we got 614 defensive experience. And the requirement to level up, let's look in my...
If Jagex ain't suing you, I will, because there is no tada 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 tada. Tada 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 tada.
Thank you, Runar.
Tada 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 yet.
I will add the tada. Okay, so let's see what we need. So we need 800 experience. We're at 614. Huh. Huh. Wrecked. Ha ha. Wrecked. Ha ha. Wrecked. Ha ha. Wrecked. This is not how RuneScape works at all. Oh god, he hit me. Text-to-speech could be entertaining. Are you not entertained already? Hey, there he goes. There's the ta-da. Okay, so our level up function works. It's a little buggy because of the double message, but it's not terrible. I wonder why it doesn't do it like this. Here, let's test. Yeah, it doesn't do it like that. It's just with the server side message. Like when maybe I need to run it do once or something like that. Maybe that could be the issue. Oh no. I love you, Rudar. Don't make me regret enabling text-to-speech. Just because of that, I'm killing all the pigs, Runar. All of the pigs are dying. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Alright, they can't get out of there because of bugs. That the text-to-speech message plays twice. So to answer what's going on, Runar has decided that he is going to mess with my text-to-speech service. So, yes, that is the answer. Actually, what we did just implement, though, I know I just, I don't know if I just switched it over or not, but I did not switch it over. Oh, yeah, I did. Sorry, you have been blocked. What have I been blocked from? Oh, okay, so you abused the text-to-speech button so much that it blocked me from sending out alerts now. Let's see. So what I can do here, give me a second to limit your, there we go. I don't know if it'll still send alerts or not. Okay. Let's get back to this. Hopefully that doesn't drop an alert. Yeah, it's dropping them everywhere. Okay. Why did I get blocked, Runar? All of my overlays are glitched now. Even my chat box is glitched. So that's fun. Okay, so what we just implemented before that whole derailment was adding in a notification to say we have leveled up a stat. So that's in now. For the most part, this works as expected. We have character creation. I'm trying to think of what else. You're not the first person to call me that. Runar, yeah. I'm trying to think of what else we need to look over in order to get this. Because what I'd like to do is, in a couple of minutes, invite you guys actually to test this out for me. As a matter of fact, why don't we test it out now? Here's what we're gonna do. I need to do a stress test to see what happens on the server side of things. Now, granted, my server is not very powerful, so keep that in mind. So I have no idea what lag is going to be like for you guys. It's actually, I shouldn't say my server isn't really powerful. What I should say is that while my desktop is powerful, it's also a desktop, and it also has Unreal Engine running at the same time, so I can't dedicate a ton of RAM to you guys. But if it's just like 5 or 6 of you, I think this should work. So I'm going to build the client, I'm going to build the server, and then I'm going to send you guys a link to download it. I'm really hoping it's not going to be too big. I think the last version of the client that I put up is, 500 megabytes. I should definitely upgrade to 48. I was actually thinking about it. I saw a deal on Newegg that was like $149 for 32 gigabytes of RAM, and I was like, man, that sounds tasty. I really should have considered that, buying it, but not today. Okay, so once this is done building, I'll put out something for you guys, and we will test if it works. At the very least, it should allow you to create an account and log in. Past that, so some things to keep in mind is that, one, there is no respawn function built in yet. So if you want to respawn, you'll have to exit and log back in. 2, PvP is fully enabled. I have no way of controlling that right now. If you want to kill me and camp me, you can very much do that. 3, the only thing that drops loot, I think, right now is the man in Lumbridge. So the only gear you guys will be able to get, I think, is some gold, and the default spawning gear, I believe, is let's see if I remember this correctly. It should just be a sword and a kite shield. So yeah, this should be finished packaging here in a minute. And once it's finished packaging, I'll start putting up the build. In the meantime, though, once this gives me the all clear and I start zipping it up, you will need 7-zip to open this, so keep that in mind. I do think we should build a respawn function, so when a player dies, they're given the option to respawn. That's going to be built in our game mode because it's going to be a server-side function. So let's go ahead and create a new event here. Actually, before we do that, let's make sure it finishes packaging. How big is the map? So here, I'll go ahead and show you. It is very small. There are 3 areas for you to explore right now. Let's go ahead and look at them. You have the Lumbridge Castle area, which doesn't have a whole lot in it. You have the immediate vicinity outside of it. You have this pig pen here, which is a good place to farm experience. This is the version with the Tada. And then you have the Goblin Village over here, which is also a good place to farm experience. Is there plans to expand this map? Yes. There are a lot of plans to make this bigger than it is. That being said, I think a lot of what needs to happen first is building certain gameplay functionalities. So that is going to be my primary focus for right now. Let's go ahead and okay, it is done building. So I'm gonna go to the build here. I'm gonna zip this up for you guys, and while it's zipping, we're gonna start working on some other things here. We're gonna start working on that respawn function. So we want our players to be able to respawn. It's not gonna be in this version that I send you, but it will be in the next. So we're gonna add a custom event here, and it's gonna be called server respawn. We're gonna replicate it to the server only. And then we're going to add another custom function called client-side respawn. And this is going to be a multicast. This casts on all. So with the server respawn, we're essentially literally just going to point to client-side respawn at this point. We need a couple of things, though. What we need to do, we need to add an input for this. And we're going to call this input spawn player. And this is going to be a USPC player class. And then we need a spawn class. And this one is just going to be US character. Or spawn. Actually, we don't even need that, really. Okay, so we need the same thing on our client side. We need a spawn player so that we can plug this into this. And what this is going to do is call a spawn actor from class. It's going to be our default class. And we're going to spawn this at our base. So in this case, wherever the player spawn is. So usually, no, that's a light mass import volume. So let's look at our player start's location is, come on, 2230, 202, and 217. So let's make a transform here. I just forgot those numbers that I read out loud, so 2230, 202, and 2217. Okay. Thumbs up for Kitchen King. Yes, okay, perfect. And then we need to possess this. So our target is our player controller, and we're passing a pawn. And this is essentially as much detail as you need. Since I subscribed, I expect you to share the picture to the stream. Did you send me a picture, or did I miss it? If I missed it, I'm sorry. Okay. Oh god, Runar, what are you doing to me? Alright, so we built that function. So what we need to do now is go into our character. So our character is what keeps of when we die, or keeps track of. Oh, there it is. This is Runar, everybody. He's also in his kitchen. Actually, fun fact, me and Runar live in sister cities. So I live in Fargo, North Dakota, which is, if you do some digging through my stream, you can find out exactly who I am and what I do for a living. And yeah, I live in Fargo, North Dakota, and Runar, you live in Hamar, which is a sister city, Hamar, Norway, which is a sister city to Fargo. Interesting fun fact about that. Okay, so this is our death functionality right here. This runs on everybody. We need to make something that is special for our player. And so after I disable the movement, after we do all this, after it drops the loot, we need to call a check. We need to say is player. controlled. And if it is player controlled, Fargo, that's a movie, right? I live in a movie. Yeah, sure, why not? Nobody believes that Fargo is real. It's in North Dakota. So we're checking that this is player controlled. So if it is, then we need to run different logic for different things. So if it is player controlled, we're going to get our game mode. Ooh, actually, that might not work. No, that should work. Sorry. We're going to get the game mode, and then we're going to call server, or we're going to cast our US game mode. And then we're going to call some function we just built. So server respawn. And let's get our player controller. So kind of crossing paths here with this other one. So let's cast to USPC, get controller, spawn player. That should work. Okay, so something I'm going to do really quickly for you guys is get this uploaded. And once that's finished uploading, I will send you guys the data. Or I'll send you guys a link in the stream chat here so that you guys can access it and we can do a stress test. But to actually, before we do that, so since we want to test this respawn function, what I'm going to do is break the links to this so it doesn't run the initialize character function. And we're just going to hop into the map. How long have I been doing this visually? A long time, I want to say. I have done so many rapid prototypes with the blueprint system that I know a little bit of it, or a lot of it, kind of inside and out. There's still some stuff that I don't know about it, and they constantly add new stuff to it, but it beats the heck out of writing code any day. You just drag and drop. And you can even build stuff like macros, so let's go ahead and test this. I want to test dying out here. So I'm getting hit. Oh. So, I apologize for Streamlabs bot. I don't know what triggers it off. I even turned off chat protection. And yeah, I really don't know like why it does that. I thought I turned off all the protection that it. Okay. All right. Hey, so our respawn function worked exactly as it's supposed to, you guys, which is awesome. We need to add a couple of things to it that I just thought about. So one, we need to initialize our character. Ooh. Actually, sorry. Okay, perfect. Now we need to do it like this. So after it's possessed, we need to initialize the character, and that's called from our player controller. And that runs if you're doing plus 10 or plus, I'd say 10 years. Please consider using my brain to make an alternative to Streamlabs. I like Streamlabs. I think the bot on it is a little bad. But we need to have it initialize our character after we respawn, obviously. Another thing we need to do is add a delay in here so that we don't respawn right away. So before we do this whole server respawn thing, let's just drag off a delay node here. And let's say 3 seconds. We can be dead for 3 seconds, rotate our camera, and then it'll respawn us in town. That should work as intended, which is awesome. Okay, let's see if this is uploaded. Oh, that's going quite slow. Am I doing 10 or 15 years? 10 years, I'd say, is about accurate. I mean, I think my mom bought me Game Maker 3D. God, let me hit up the Google here. Well, so I had one of these initial releases that they had. I'm trying to find the history of it. Um, yeah, I can't find it right now, but yeah, I had one of these Game Maker Studio things. Um, that was my first. I'm not in jail. That was my first foray into making games. Wasn't very good with it. I made like some first-person shooters, just for myself to play because there was no multiplayer functionality. Um, I started doing a lot of mod work for games like World of Warcraft, which is how I actually learned to program in the first place. So, um, I want to say when I was about 15, I was 14 years old, I started writing. Uh, um, sorry, what the word I'm looking for is like code updates for Mangoes, which was a World of Warcraft private server software. I'm not claiming to write Mangoes. I didn't do that, but I worked as a dev for some servers, and we had the first World of Warcraft vanilla private server. I want to say. I shouldn't say the first. It wasn't the first. It was one of the earliest ones. It was a little buggy, but it worked, and that was a lot of fun to work with and play. Um, that's where I learned C++, doing stuff like that and working on projects like that. I took that into um, a little bit of stuff with RPG Maker. Then UDK came along, and I did a bunch of stuff in that. Nothing really concrete though. And then Unreal Engine came along, UE4, and that's where I really started making a lot of different projects in it, from Captivus, from some platformer type games, all the this sort of crazy stuff. I know I went on a little tirade. I shouldn't say tirade. All right, it's at 49%. I made some first-person shooters and stuff like that. No wonder I suck at this game. Why do I suck at this game, Runar? Okay, so our respawn function is built. What else do we need to get the core gameplay done? Is probably a quest system, I'd say, right? So, let's go ahead and go into our UI. And let's look at what we have in our right bar here. So this is our action bar. This is our entire. I didn't plus the blue hat tutorial button. This is our entire interface built into one. So, oh, the options tab. That's another thing we want to make. It's not going to be in this build. I have a button here for it, but we want to have some option settings so that we can control things like sound. Try to think what else. Sound, resolution, graphics quality, FOV. What else do we want? We want a quest button, right? So let's go ahead and duplicate this here. And I'm going to call this bad boy quest. And we're going to change the text to exclamation point. And then we're going to go ahead and switch this over here. And we're going to readjust this bar. Oh, shit. So let's drag this horizontal bar a little bit there. Okay, and so we want to add some padding to this because it's so thin. We want it to be kind of the equivalent width here. That's 20 and 20. Not exactly perfect. Um, let's give it like a 22 ultra wide king. We will add a FOV option at some point. That might be too wide. Let's look. That seems about right. Okay, so this is going to be our quest bar. And that's just going to open up another interface to show what quests we have, what we haven't started, sort of like how RuneScape works. Assuming you don't need UE4 to play, you shouldn't. That being said, let me look in the binaries here. You might need some redistributables, and that's the one thing actually Unreal Frontend doesn't come with, I don't think. Let me look at something real quick, because I might have to rebuild everything. Darn it. Ah. So, we're going to cancel this, as much as I've uploaded it. I forgot to give you guys the the binaries that will let you play this without having Unreal Engine. So that's going to take a little bit longer, unfortunately. No, it's good that you brought it up because you wouldn't have been able to play. Nobody would have been able to play without it. So we're going to go ahead and build that. And that's going to include our new respawn function as well. So cool. It'll also include the quest bar tab, which does nothing. It's only 4:30 a.m. here. No worries. Runar, it is 9:28 p.m. here, so in my opinion, it's the same time all over the world. All right, so this new build that I'm gonna send to you guys. Yeah, Dakota's in the Centrals. I'm surprised you even know North Dakota was a state. God, I really want to expand this. So once this finishes packaging and cooking, I think I want to take a look at. You live in the South. I used to live in the South. I'm actually from Florida, which is why I don't have a weird North Dakota accent, like the rest of the state does. So let's go ahead. We're gonna build our quest system a little bit as soon as this finishes packaging, because that's where half of the. We actually do have a. We have a club called Sons of Norway here, which is just a place where it's a restaurant, but it's also like a clubhouse where you have to be like you have to be a Norwegian to become a member. Um, and it just serves Norwegian food. Like it's pretty good. I like some Norwegian food. Eat lefse. I do eat lefse every now and then. I haven't had any since Christmas, I want to say. Like tacos. Yeah, we serve Norwegian tacos. Lefse is essentially um there's some left. Runar's gonna get mad, but it's basically a skinny pancake. In my opinion. Okay, let's repackage this. So let's go ahead and we're gonna build something. We're gonna build a quest system. So I'm gonna build a structure called quest. I knew he would be mad. We're gonna make this structure. This is gonna contain all of our quest data, and then we're gonna build an internal database for it. So let's start with an ID because we want a quest ID that we can call to. Then we're gonna want a quest name. So we'll give it a name. Then we want some quest text. Make that a string. Oh, actually, speaking of, since you're doing all that, I want to see if something works now. I know I'm in my thing, but hey, I'm unblocked from Streamlabs after Runar spammed me to death. Awesome. So the way we make lefts over here. That was Streamlabs OBS. Thank you, Runar. The way I would describe Lefsa. Oh, and to answer your question, thanks for finding my channel. I appreciate you watching. How long have I been working on this based on the viewport? I have been working on this for 2 weeks. That's when I started this project, and the intention is I wanted to build an RPG, and then I thought, what if I made it multiplayer? And yeah, from there, that's where it went. Okay, we're at 80% compressing. So we have some quest text that we're going to add. Now we want to add... it depends on how we want to do this quest system, right? Like, do we want it to be exactly like RuneScape, where it gives you some hints along the way? Or do we want it to be more like World of Warcraft, where there's a clear and defined like start and end, and the goals are all listed out at the same time? So that's the question. I'll leave it up to you guys in the chat what you'd rather see. And to talk more about Lefsa, the way my family makes Lefsa, because I'm married and I have in-laws who are part of the tradition, they take a Lefsa, which is, as he said, it's like a tortilla basically, and we don't put brown cheese on it. I've never thought of that, but maybe that's what actual Norwegians do. In North Dakota, what they do is they take a bunch of butter, and they put butter on it, and then they take a bunch of brown sugar, and they put brown sugar on it, and then they take a bunch of cinnamon, and they put cinnamon on it. Or white sugar. Yeah, you can use whatever sugar you want. My wife likes to roll it up after that and eat it sort of like, oh, you're from the South, so you might know this is... If you've ever had a taquito, a rolled up lefse looks like a taquito without the meat. So this is what it ends up looking like, kind of. Or this is a better picture. What do Norwegians do? We were talking about lefse, Colton. You can ask Rosanna about it. She'll tell you all about it. Okay, let's upload this build for you guys so we can actually try this out. Of course, when I'm sharing my stream with it at the same time. Let's work on the quest a little bit. So, yeah, you guys are welcome. All this food talk. Yeah, it is a treat. It's like a dessert that you eat after a meal. So how do we want to do the quest system? I'm leaving that up to you guys. I want to take your suggestions on this one. Do we want to do... Actually, here we go. I know exactly how to make this work. Give me a second. This is what this is built for. What? Exactly what this moment is built for. I am going to pull. Okay, let's run this for a minute here. I don't have the filters on right now, Colton. I'm sorry. Uh, when I do game dev streams, the Snapchat filter software, uh, it it crashes my stream, so I can't do it. Either way, well, I let that poll run out. So we need quest text, obviously. We need rewards. So we have an item struct built already that we can use, and this is going to determine what rewards we have, or rewards we get. Um, we can make it an array actually, and then have it run through that array, so we can add multiple rewards. I hate that you suggested that because Final Fantasy XIV's quest system is my least favorite quest system. Okay, well, RuneScape won with 100% of the one vote, so that's what we're doing. Okay, so then we need to add a couple of more things. Let's do quest hints. Okay, so we'll do quest hints, and then we need one more variable called completed quest hints. And we're keeping these arrays because we want to run through them at some point, right? And check our quest hints to our completed quest hints and remove or strike out the ones like in RuneScape, strike out the ones that we've already done, and leave the ones that we haven't done as unstruck. So this should all be good. We might need to create a couple of systems here. So we're gonna make a new struct. I'm gonna show you guys how to build a dialogue system from scratch, right? So let's go into our blueprints again, and we're gonna create something here called dialogue. And in this, we're gonna use a dialogue ID, and we'll create a isChain variable here. Call that a boolean, or it'll be a boolean, and we'll just check that to see if it's a chain dialogue, if it feeds off of something. We'll do dialogue text, and let's make sure that's a string. And then we'll do dialogue response. And this will be an array. Right? Okay. And so under our quest system, we're going to delete this quest text option. And we'll call this quest dialogue. And there we go. I'm going to reorganize this struct so it makes a little more sense. We need a dialogue there. We'll put our quest reward at the bottom. And then one last variable, quest experience. And we'll make this yeah, we'll make this an int. Actually, let's make this a string. And we'll make it an array so we can add multiple types of experience rewards. Okay, that should be there. Before we can go further with the quest system, though, we need to finish the dialogue system, right? So we have our library here. Let's go ahead and build our let's go ahead and build a database for the dialogue to store its stuff in. So in this case, we're going to go to miscellaneous, and it's going to be a data table. And just choose dialogue there, and call it dialogue DB. And we're just going to add a sample one. So it'll be dialogue ID 1. I'm going to change the name to row name 1. It's not going to be chain. Hello. And then our dialogue response options are going to be Buenos dias. And go away. So that should test everything that we need to test there. Okay, so now implementing that dialogue, right? We're going to have to build some UI elements for that. Sorry, I just farted. Yeah, I know. Man, I just did it again. I don't know if the mic is picking it up, but... Oh, hey! We might actually be able to test before we do the dialogue, but... Because we're at 94%. So... Okay. Let's go ahead and build the UI elements. I'm going to create something here. I'm going to duplicate our chat box because it's the perfect size and it's already set up. We're just going to call this dialog box. But we're going to remove some things from it. Number one, we don't need to be able to type a message. Number two, we're going to change our chat holder because we don't need that. What we need is something else entirely. So, take a big ol' whiff of the seat fart. Yeah, it doesn't smell like anything. You're welcome. Clip that moment, I suppose, right? So this is going to be our dialog box. So we need a couple things. We need a vertical box. We need a horizontal box inside the vertical box. We need an image. Inside that horizontal box. And then we need a text that we can adjust inside that. We also need some text above. And then we need a button. And we need to add some text to that button that says continue. Okay. And I'm going to change the style of this button to just be nothing. We're not going to draw really a box around it, but... No, not a border either. Okay. But that's going to be our button there. Is it really a dialog box if it has more than 2 participants? It doesn't have more than 2 participants, good sir. It has just the 2 of us. Let's rename that to continue. I'm going to remove the image for now because we don't have portraits yet. So let's change this to NPC name, right? And we're just going to say NPC, and let's center it. And then for the text box here, we don't even need a horizontal box yet. Let's just drop another text into the vertical box because we're not going to keep that. So we'll keep this as centered as well. And let's just add some padding to it. 25 seems about right. 15 here. 5 here. Okay, that seems to be about right. Yeah, perfect. I'm pretty sure I misspelled that, right? But we need to make this a variable, our text block here. We'll call that dialog text. And let's make this vertical box here. We'll call this NPC text. We're going to duplicate it. Actually, we might not be able to. Darn it. Okay, we might need to change some of this. Like I said, this is being built from scratch, so I'm trying to think through the logic in my head of how it's supposed to work. Um. Oh, okay. I know how to do it. Um. I'll make this called dialog box. Oh, no. We don't need to duplicate it. Let's create a new widget. Oh, also, here, let me get the link for this. Copy. Feel free to download that, guys. I'll go ahead and throw up the server software so that you guys can connect. You should be able to create a character after you download it. It is approximately 682 megabytes. Wow, okay, sorry. It's 666 megabytes. I am not making that up. Right there. Beautiful. Okay. Thanks for following LowLab1234. I appreciate that. I literally cannot change the size of this game because it is perfect. I know, Runar. It's just gonna have to be like that. Okay, let's create a widget blueprint here, and we're just gonna call this dialog options box, and it's gonna be pretty similar to this one. I'm gonna copy this and kind of paste it in here. Um. And instead of having this continue button, right, and this dialog text, we're going to add, God, we're going to have to make a dynamic. Okay, we need another widget. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. Currently messing around with Unity for one of the first times. I could never get the hang of Unity. It didn't seem very user-friendly, whereas Unreal, like, you could literally drop into a project right away. So we're going to make a dialog option. So, and that's going to fill our box. And for this one, it is just going to be a button on a canvas panel with some text. And this is going to be called options text. And this is going to be called dialog button. And let's make this size to content. And let's change the styling on it so that it reflects our other one. I didn't paste the style, so let's just set this to none. Copy. And we'll paste it here, right? And boom. So this is going to be how come my comments don't get read out loud. You can Unreal, I'm the polar opposite. Unreal is horrible for you. How come my comments don't get unbelievable in Discord all alone? I'm sorry that you're all alone in Discord, my friend. I'll join you at some point. Let me know when you guys have the game downloaded. I am monitoring the server software. Okay. So we need to make a dialogue input, right? And it's going to break off of our dialog struct that we built earlier. And so some of the things we need to do is expose it on spawn, make it instance editable. And so that way when it's constructed, we can just set some of these things that we have. So for example, our options text, right? Ow. we want to set the text on this. That's all we're doing for this button. That's literally it. So we're going to break our input that we built, right? And that has our dialog responses because this is a dialog option response. And we are going to get a copy. And let's make another variable here. And we're going to call dialog option ID. That's going to be an int. It's going to be exposed on spawn. It's going to be instance editable in this case. What's happening to you, Runar? Does it tell you? Let me look in the database, actually. Because I was able to create accounts when I was on it. Are you, like, do you have the game open? Just pressing register and nothing happens. Ooh, I wonder if that's my fault. It might be my fault. I may have just made you guys download something for no reason. If it is, I apologize. No, that works. Yeah, that works. Wait, so I'm really confused, Rune. Are you saying you can't register an account in-game, or are you saying you can't register on Mega to download it? Also, you definitely need... here, I'll post a link. So the Mega link is here. Nope, that's not the Mega link. Sorry. This is the Mega link. And then if you have 7-zip or WinRAR, those are the folders. You need one of those two to open it. Okay, so you've downloaded it and it's running Runar. And so when you're in there and it's running, what happens? Like nothing even opens up? Oh, so you've created new user and nothing happens when you press register. That is interesting. I know why nothing happens. I know exactly why nothing happens. Don't download that copy, guys. Bad copy. That's my fault. Oh, I can't believe we have to do this again. So I set this up for internal testing, which would allow me to play with you guys. Or, sorry, which allows me to play. You were a very early alpha tester. God, I feel like an idiot. How about this? If you guys have Twitter, give me a follow on there. I'll post the link to that tomorrow. If you don't, we do have a Discord link, I think, down in my chat somewhere. You can join that Discord, and I'll post the link in there. I'm not going to end the stream here. I'm still going to work on the dialogue, but I know some people need to go to bed. So we can do a test of this all tomorrow. Or we can do it tonight. I don't know. Depends on how late you feel like staying up. Let's get this dialogue system done first, because I feel like finishing that. Or I feel like finishing what we started here, right? So let's get a dialogue option ID that we pose here. We'll plug it into that. Plug it into that. This dialogue system. You're so goddamn. Okay, all right, all right. We'll get it. We'll get it working, Runner. All right. I appreciate your enthusiasm. I appreciate your hype. Sorry for making people download that 666 megabyte file before I realized that I had the wrong IP addresses plugged into it. Um, that is my fault. I literally downloaded the goddamn devil for this. So one more thing I want to check before I package this up. So set account details, right? When you hit create character, hey Runar, do you still have that game open for, or you didn't delete it yet, right? Thank you for following P30 Virus. I appreciate it, and thank you for the tip, Runar. Okay, it's still here, yeah. Oh, text to speech didn't seem to work on that one. Let me see what you said. I'm pressing register, register, register. I don't know what happened to text to speech. I did leave it enabled, but it didn't seem to actually register it. So I want you to hit plug in something and hit register for me, and tell me if you get any message that says like executing, or if it sends an error message in the top left. I can't read all of it. The only thing I can read is here. Let's see if that works. No, it's not reading it. It says I'm pressing register, 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 and that's as far as I can read. So when you hit register, I want you to tell me if it says anything like executing, or print some sort of error message in the top right, top left corner of your screen. Because if it does, that'll actually help me identify what the problem is. Nothing happens at all. That is weird. Okay. Can you restart the game for me, actually, Runar? And tell me if you see in the top left of your screen something that says connecting and then connected. And while you do that, I'm gonna finish this dialogue thing here. I know I keep bouncing between things. I'm sorry. Okay, so we can get rid of all of this stuff because we don't even have a text box anymore. And then in our dialogue options box, we need to event construct. And we're going to need to plug in another dialogue options box for our input. So I'll just make this a dialogue instance, expose on spawn. So it's not saying anything at all. Okay, so let's add some error fetching to this then. Perfect. There we go. On an ultra wide, so you don't know if it might be out of my screen or whatever. It's possible. What you could do for me, Runar, is if you go into the downloaded folder, and then go into G2 content, or sorry, go into engine. Is it under here? Where? Here, I might need to run the game. Give me a second. All right, that all works for me there. But that's because this is an outdated build. So why are you not exiting my game? Close my game. Okay, I just had to Alt 4 out of that. So now under the game you made, or like the folder you had, if you go into your logs, you should have a log, and if you just want to send that to me over Discord, I can take a look through it just so I can see exactly what the issue seems to be. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we added some error handling for the sake of Runar. And we're also going to add some more here. So let's, not just for Runar, it's for all of you guys. No log folders created at all. That's okay. So that's a little weird. So when you go under GE2 and then save, you don't have a log at all. Okay. So it'd be Windows client. I love you, Runar. So right, you have the Windows client folder created. You go to GE2, which is inside the Windows client. Go to saved. Go to logs. Do you not have a saved folder? Okay. Okay. Saved logs, and then send that text document to me. All right, let's add a couple more strings here for this, so to let us know that we're executing and to retry or we're fetching. These will almost never be used, these executing and fetching ones, because there's no reason for them to ever be used. But if we're connected, then we're good. There is... Okay, I just got it. Let's look at your log here. Yeah, has all that. Okay. Oh, you have a GTX 1080. Uh-huh. My computer is running low on storage space. Oh. Yeah, that's interesting. Why is it running low on storage space? Oh, I think I know why. Anyways, give me a second. Let's look through the rest of your log. Okay. Game entry loaded into this. All widgets are valid. Bringing up login screen for play. Connection is null. So, I figured out what your problem is. It is not connecting you to my main server. Why that is, I don't know. But let's add some redundancy to that. And make it retry if it's closed or broken. Which might crash this. I don't know. The ports are open, I know, because I'm connecting to it remotely, so... And it allows me. I just showed my password there. I'll have to change that at some point. It's a MySQL server. I knew I shouldn't have showed that. Man, this is interesting. No, this is a virtual server. The one that holds MySQL is virtual. It's hosted off of my computer. No, it's... I don't even know who hosts it. I can't remember who I bought it from, but... Okay. We wanted to do this dialog box, right? This dialog option box. Let's finish that before we put out this new build. I bet you got it from Comfy. I did not get it from Comfy. Okay. Let's break this up. And now we don't have to keep these as variables. Okay. So on event construct, we're gonna add a widget. So create widget, selecting class, and it's gonna be dialog option, and we're gonna create these for each loop of this response. And let's go back into our dialog option actually, and we don't even need to get this. We don't even need this one here. All we really need is a dialog string. And we'll expose that on spawn. Perfect. Okay. Through VR chat services, it is known VR chat have 3 VR devices. I've never used VR chat. I don't even have a VR device. I've been meaning to get one at some point, but none for me right now. Get owning player here. Okay, so for each loop, it's going to create dialog options for us, and we're going to add it to this. So in this case, it's going to be... It's usually a way to make sure this actually gets put in correctly. But I'm not seeing it. Add child to vertical box. There we go. Oh, we put the wrong thing. Sorry. Did we get the wrong thing? There we go. Okay. I've lost multiple friends in this game. Yeah, I've heard some horror stories about it as well. Okay, so this little function should actually create our dialog options box. And then with our continue here, we're going to hit on clicked. And all that's going to do, so we're going to bring up, we're going to add this dialog options box, right? To our canvas panel. And kind of bring it right about here. That should work. And so we're actually not going to put this logic under construct. What we're going to do is put it under a new function entirely. And we're going to call this function update dialog options. Okay. So we'll call that function here. And yeah, we'll need to create a dialog ID that we can set later. So what the hell? Okay, so we don't even need to expose this on spawn, right? So for our dialog options box, we're going to remove it here. And also, let's just remove this entirely here. And let's add it to this instead. Duh. I feel like I'm going in circles with this one. This should fix all of our problems. With that, at least. So on click continue, what we're going to do is go through, we're going to go through our data table, right? So we have a dialog data table that we made. And then we're going to run a for each loop. Sorry if I'm not paying attention to chat too much. We're talking about comfy. Good to know. And then we need to run another. Does data table row exist? Nope, sorry. Get data table row. And if it's found, we update it with this. Ooh, sorry. Can't do that yet. We need to run a branch. And we need to break this, so. And we need to set it to equal our dialog ID. And we'll set that at a later point. And if it's true, then we update the dialog options and we set the visibility of our dialog options box to visible, because we want it collapsed by default. So let's go ahead and set that to collapsed so that it doesn't show up on our screen. Okay, and that should give us the basics of a dialog system. What I'm going to do for that part is for the dialog button, we're going to add an on-clicked here so that when we click on something, right now we're only using a sample. We don't have any functionality built in, but we're just going to remove it from the parent. Okay. Actually, I don't like that. Let's create a delete function for the dialog box, essentially. Or a clear function. So let's do hide dialog box. And literally all this is going to do is set the visibility. What the hell? To collapsed. So when I click this, get parent, cast to dialog box, and then we'll hide it. By default, there's got to be a way to get this. Is the problem here? Yeah, we might be able to use get all widgets of class. That could be a good one. Yeah, let's use that one. And in this case, it's just going to be dialog box, and we'll get a copy here. I will not be paying attention. Please ping it. Yeah, definitely. I will. I'm trying to finish up the dialogue for you here. Oh, I don't need to cast. That's right. I just need to run it directly. Okay. So when this is clicked, that's what happens. Probably not the best way to do that, but it should work for the minor things. So now we need to add some sort of functionality to our NPCs, right? So that if they have a dialogue option, we can add it. So let's do dialogue ID. Let's replicate it. Let's make it instance editable. I'm going to set the default to 1. And then we need a new capsule component, so we need something to overlay with it and show us exactly how it's going to work. So let's do a sphere collision. Let's pump it up to like 250. That's a little big. Let's pump it up to like 150. And man, this is so let's add our event for it, and let's say it begins overlap, right? We kind of need the function we had before here, which is all of this work here to make sure that we're not colliding with ourselves. Yeah, that works. Okay, and this is just basically it's checking this logic here is checking if whatever we collide with is the player. And if it is, then we are going to set the dialogue ID on our player character. So we need to make a dialogue ID for it. We'll need to replicate it. And we'll need to set the integer to it. And also, let's actually add another thing. Dialogue enabled. So, Because I want to make it so that if dialogue's not enabled, there's no reason for this function to even run, right? By default, it's going to be false. So if this is true, we are going to get the controller, which is not showing up as an option when it usually does. Get instigator controller, and then cast to USPC. And set our dialogue. Okay. We might need to build actually, what we might need to do is build a function into our player character that updates when that changes. So let's go ahead and add our dialog box custom widget that we built into our game. Yeah, perfect. That lines up. I don't know why that looks like that, but let's go ahead and make some adjustments, because that should not be doing that. Okay, that seems to fix it. Nice. Just change the anchor position. Okay. Oh, God. Okay, and then we also need to create something. So we updated our dialogue responses, right? But we need to create something that actually updates our normal dialogue that the person has. So let's go ahead and... No, not a new variable. We don't need that. We just need a normal update dialogue. And for this, we can kind of do all of that. But now we're going to set our dialogue text and to whatever is here. Okay, perfect. Just 4 minutes of VR chat. I regret everything. Yeah, I think it's for the best that you've never tried it until this point. Okay, and then let's add a return. Add a return node there. Okay. So, in our player controller, we need to build a new function called, or a new event here that will call update dialogue. This doesn't really have to be replicated, so all we're going to do is set our dialogue ID. And then we're going to call we need to get our dialog box, and we need to call our function update dialog. That's as simple as that. So in our NPC, before we set the dialog ID and before we set that, we're just going to call this update dialog. And let's make this a multicast just to make sure that it all works out. Okay, and that should do everything that it needs to do for us to have dialogue. Basically, when we run into one of these guys, so for example, now that we created that, if we run into this guy, oh, he's not even here. That's because I made a spawner for him, so he'll respawn. So let's go into his. Hold on, we'll save all of this, and then let's make him dialogue enabled. Dialogue ID 1. That should work. Let's make sure all of this is connected again before we package and build it. It is now. Okay. Let's make sure our login game mode is also working correctly. All of this is in the right place. Yep. 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 That works. That works. Okay. Okay, now we can build. Let's build a copy. While that's doing that, whew, this has been a long stream, fellas. So I really want to get one test in tonight. I was hoping to do it hours ago, but of course everything is broken. Mostly my fault. Building an MMO is hard, but yeah, if I can get this built tonight and we can test things, I'm pretty excited for the possibilities. So of what we can witness, I guess, right? Just waiting on this to build here. Okay. Not done building yet. Just finished building. Blueprints in an elevator pitch. Convince me. Okay. Imagine if... Man, I'm not good at elevator pitches. I'll be honest with you. But the selling point for me was being able to visualize all of my logic in one simple place and all of it working when I connected it. You know, like, it's one of those things where, like, if you're used to working in Unity or in anything where you have a development environment, right? You have to edit your code, build, compile, do all of this, right? And it takes all time before you test it, and you can't see what logic is misfiring right away. With blueprints, right? So let me bring back up my screen. Unity. I'm also a visual person. So yeah, okay, I brought back up my screen, right? So with blueprints, let's bring up my character, for example. When I hit play, it'll show me exactly what's firing at what point at what time and where it's failing, right? So, like, if it failed at, let's say, this point right here, it would stop the firing process right here, and you wouldn't see it again. So you know exactly where logic is failing, or if you have a loop, for example, you know exactly what's going on with it. This also makes programming AI very easy, because you can see what events are firing on the AI at the same time. That's the best I can do. It's visualizing your logic in a really simple way, connecting it all in a really simple way, really fast compile times, and then just the ability to hit play and have it all play out, and then see where the logic is either misfiring or where it's firing correctly. That's my pitch for it. That's why I like it. Okay, let's see if this build is done. This build is done. So, I'm going to test that this works. Actually, let's package it first. Okay, it connected me just fine. Which is normally not problematic, but... Can I show you the firing thing you mentioned? The stepping through sounds really cool. Gosh, I'm trying to think of a way to show you that doesn't require me to unplug things here. Okay, yeah, no, we can show you. I can show you. Let me just make some changes here so that it actually does something. I'm gonna hit compile, gonna hit save. Okay, so let's hit play. Oh, it showed that, all of that. Darn it. Okay. I knew that something like this would happen. I just froze my game because basically it's trying to connect to the MySQL server while not passing any data to it right now, which is causing it to horribly lag and freeze my game. Okay, so let's open up this here so that you can see. So, come on. My mouse is broken, so it's not dragging over properly. Oh man, it really does not like this. So something we can show you, for example, is like this take damage function, right? So I'm gonna bring that up. That's over here. This is all the logic for it. Also, packaging that game was pointless because I forgot to change something, so I'll have to repackage it. I don't think that I'm gonna get a play test tonight, but definitely tomorrow we'll do a play test. Okay, so just to visualize this firing, right? So now it's run up to here, and then it ran all of that code and respawned me. And you could see where it was firing, where the executions were happening, right? I don't know if it was easily visible, but I can do it again, just to kind of show the whole process if you want. Okay, all right, cool. I'm gonna hit stop then, and fix this bug really quick. Not so much a bug as just me forgetting to check something off. So under the dialog box, right? We need to set this to collapsed. And then under player controller, we need to set the visibility to visible. Okay. Alright, now we can... This should be the final build. Shoot. Gotta hit cancel. Gotta hit save all. Actually, before we do the final build, let's add some drops for people so that you can get gear. So, for example, I want to give you guys, let's say an iron medium helm. So that is 2. And that goes into your helm slot. not going to do any of the damage stuff because it'll do it automatically. Current stack 1. Max stack size 1. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay, so if you kill the goblin, you get an iron medium helm. If you kill the goblin boss, let's give you some iron chainmail. Sorry. Bronze chainmail. I don't know why I put iron. That's ID 1. And that goes in your chest slot. And then max stack size is 1. Beautiful. Yeah, of course. Glad I could show you how that works. I don't know if that sold you on it, but hopefully it at least showed you kind of how it works. Then let's make a pig. I'm going to make the pig drop a iron legs, which I think are ID 3 if I'm correct. So that way you guys, if this build does go through today, we can all get some loot as we're leveling up. If I can even get you guys to log in. He sold me on that. I think visual coding is going to be the way that gets the masses involved in making games, I guess. I mean, over the last like 5 years, indie game dev has become ridiculously easy. As long as you're willing to learn it, because there's so many powerful engines available for it now, and they're free. And there's so many resources. Like even game dev art is, whether you're using open game art. I think it's because of visual. Yeah, I think if people can wrap their head around the blueprint system in Unreal Engine or in Dreams, for example, on the PS4, the idea of just thinking up the logic for, because ultimately programming comes down to I need to accomplish something. What is the logic to get to that accomplishment, right? So I need to log in. What do I need to do to accomplish that? Well, I need to take a string of data that my player inputs and run it into a database and double check with the database that the user exists, and if it does, send it to a new world or send it to a new IP. With visual programming, that's literally what you have to put in. Like, if you look at the login system, it's pretty simple. I take my user's data, I cross-reference it with the database. If it exists, I send it to a new IP. That simple. And that's how simple the visual logic makes it, in my opinion. I mean, that's how you'd program it and type it. But the whole learning a language thing can be intimidating to a lot of people, where the visual makes it as if it's plain English. Okay, let's see. Yep, that's done. Add to Windows Client. Let's let that package. You've been intimidated into a new job. I think you said you started working for a VR company, right? Sorry, I was just checking my phone for a second to see if my wife is on her way home. What exactly are you doing there, and why is it intimidating to you? Tried to code, ended up doing PM, project manager. Okay, yeah, I figured it was project management. Ah, okay. So, walk me through what a project manager role looks like, because I'm curious. Hey, there's my wife. She's walking through the door right now. Hi, honey.
Hi.
What's up?
Not much.
I did some of them and then I got distracted, but I will do the rest. I'm streaming right now, so don't say anything inappropriate. I love you. My wife is home, everybody. Oh, so wait, are you making like custom snap lenses for your game? My stream chat says hi, honey. She says hi back. No, just in general. Okay, so I use snap lens on here occasionally. So have I used anything you've made? I use the poop filter a lot. What? How's your sourdough doing?
It's like okay. It's just not watery at the top.
Oh, is that bad?
It's not bad, but it's like I was hoping to see something different.
Okay,
It is getting bubbly.
that's good.
I just need to get a lot more bubbly.
You made one that makes you look like Dennis Rodman. Okay, let's upload this real quick. Hopefully I can get something working for you guys today. And if not, it is not my programming. It is a MySQL issue that I will have to figure out and overnight and hopefully get working. But this should be the last client build that we try out without having to fix anything major. So okay. So that while that uploads, I'm going to actually start up Snap Camera here and hopefully it doesn't crash my stream. It unfortunately has crashed my stream in the past. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's being used by another application, so it's not going to work. Okay, I quit it. I think it's because, so I know actually why it doesn't work. When I have my webcam enabled, like on stream, Snap Camera can't use it because OBS is using the Windows hook for it. So, if I switch it to Stream Intermission, for example, or Stream BRB, let's switch it to that, and then I disable or I deactivate it, right? And then I open up Snap Camera, it works. And so now, for example, let's so there you go. Now I'm in beautiful full color. And let's see, do I look I can't find the Dennis Rodman filter. That's what I'm looking for right now. Does it have a specific name on the Snapchat store? It's not this one, is it? It's called Tesco. Okay. Is it? That one doesn't seem to do anything. Oh God, no. It might just not be on this store. That might be why. Oh, that's a cool filter. I like this one. Honey, look. Oh, you're over there. I'm a space ram.
That's so specific.
What what else should I try? Should I become a pickle? Oh no, I'm Pickle Rick. Yeah, sure. I'm. So it only lets me search for lens names. It doesn't actually let me search users, which might be why it's not popping up. I tried searching for Tesco, but it didn't seem to. Oh, okay. I think I just crashed it. Yeah, I just crashed it. We're gonna. Oh, it was worth a try while this uploads, anyways. Oh yeah, it hard crashed. Uh oh. Okay. Well, we can switch over to that, anyways. Let's see where we're at with this. We're almost uploaded. We can finally do this test. I'm hoping, and I'll get you guys a link. And maybe if we're lucky today, we'll get it done before everybody goes to bed. I'm gonna open up my remote desktop to make sure that the MySQL server is still running. Yep, there we go. I might look around in the config for it for a second here. Port 3, yep, it's open. Hmm. I might need to make my packet sizes bigger. That might be what's happening. Packet size in. Okay, yeah. So let's actually make that bigger. That seems to be part of the issue. Okay. All right. So this is at 93%. We're right on the edge here. I'll send the client to you guys. We'll do a little testing. And I'm going to close out of Unreal Engine for now. We'll let the test be the final product, if we will. Now that I think about it, I actually won't be able to play with you guys because I'm hosting it, and I haven't figured out how to make it work. But what I can do is see you guys logging in and see if that works. Here you go. Here's a mega link for all you guys. You can check it out. See if it works. I'm gonna start up the server. Okay, that's open. And I'm gonna try to connect. I don't think it'll let me, but yeah, it's not gonna let me. Ooh. I just thought about that. Okay, yeah. So it's not gonna let me connect to my own thing, but you guys are more than welcome to try it out. And okay, server software is running. I eagerly await your guys' first posts or first attempts. If it works at all, there's a chance it doesn't. Come on. God, I'm nervous because I want this to work for you guys. And from all of my tests, it has worked. But this is the first major test to see, uh, if it'll. Oh, actually, I do have one idea for how I can play with you guys. Awesome, awesome. So here's my idea for how I can play with you guys. I'm going to change some of the settings, but that doesn't mean I have to rebuild anything. It just means I can play. Let me know. You might have to install some of the prerequisites. That's the word I'm looking for. If they didn't get included, let me know. They should be by default, but it's possible that they didn't. So, okay, yeah, I found them. I know where they're at. I found them. In the meantime, I'm opening my project to test it out myself. Excuse me. It's just taking a little bit to load up. Got that nice blue monitor glow on me right now. Okay. So I'm going to be able to help test out a little bit of this and see if it's working with one simple trick. I'm going to open up my map here. And switch it over to my in-game view. Name of the game. I think it's just called GE2 Client. You can call it on RuneScape if you want, but yeah, it's just or the actual executable is GE2 Client. If you want to see the actual folder makeup, this is what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and log into my account, assuming it lets me. It did. So I am in game. Although it did not execute. Oh, that didn't work either. It would appear that my dialogue is completely busted too. Alright, I'm gonna hit exit on this one. Server's still up, but let me know if you have any issues. Okay, it says connected to login server. So that part worked. That's where Runar failed on his. Executing the nothing. Here, let me look at something here. Oh, hey. So it inserted your account about 27 times. So I think I know what the issue might be. It might be my server. I was able to have somebody connect to it the other day, which is interesting. Here, I'll tell you what. Why don't you, if you hit the tilde key, it'll open up a dev console, like you see on my screen there. And if you type open, and then I'm gonna send you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that wouldn't work. Let me look at something really quick to make sure. I have a feeling there could be an issue that I didn't foresee coming. No, that should work fine. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna close or set it to intermission. Don't exit your game just yet. I might have to do some stuff on my end. Oh, that's fine. Don't worry about it. I'll try and get this fixed for you. I think I might have a port that's not open right now. And that could be what the issue is, so yeah, no, I think it's my IP, Jazz. I think that's what it is. That being said, I'm gonna get rid of about 27 of your accounts and just leave you with the one. That's okay. Gosh, what is my... So, this might be an issue. I need to look at something on the back of my router. Also, hi Tech Dude, I saw you hopped in the chat. Alright. Okay, so I think my router has... Ooh, do I have Chick-fil-A in the background? I do, don't I? I think my... I love Chick-fil-A. We finally have one here. I think my router has a port that's not exactly forwarded. So... I'm going to make sure I get that one forwarded. There we go. I'm adding all of these rules. Hey, I'm from the South too. Okay. And just gotta add one more rule and then we can try connecting again. I I know. I've done that one before too. Okay. I'm gonna restart my server with the new. Oh crap! I just. Okay. Um. So, Jazz, you can try to log in with the username and password you created earlier, and let me know if it works. I have forwarded my ports, so in theory, this bad boy should be ready to go. But it is also possible that it does not work, and in which case I have to go back to the drawing board, and I'm going to call the stream a quits for tonight. But yeah, let me know if it lets you log in this time. First attempt, no good. Yeah, I think it might be. I don't know how long it takes for the port forwarding rules to take effect, but I think that might be what it is. Yeah. Okay. That's unfortunate. Because I know it's yeah, the back button I haven't programmed yet. That's my fault. I will get to that at some point. I know that it's not the programming. I think it is just a port forwarding issue. Uh, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I think for tonight I am going to call it quits because I've been streaming for 3 hours. I will stream tomorrow. We'll get this working. If I have to send you a new build, I'll send you a new build. Thank you for downloading it. If you want to just run around the world and try stuff, if you hit the tilde key, which is this key, and then type that, it'll send you into the world, and you can at least test things out and try them out. So, and it'll even save your stats if you logged in. Like if you hit login and then if you type in your username, type in your password, hit login, and then type in that, it'll save your stats to my main database, so you can level up in theory. I saw somebody registered an account, Florida Man 64209. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of it. If you do that method of just kind of logging in, I'm gonna call it quits for tonight. I really want to figure out this issue, but it doesn't look like it's going to be figured out overnight. So, for now, thank you guys so much for watching what I've created. We'll get more stuff done with this tomorrow. Hopefully, the actual server will work. I don't know why it wasn't working today when usually it always does. So, until tomorrow, thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna run a quick ad break and then probably call it for the night. Hang out with my wife. It's probably grabbing your character data or possibly creating new character data for you. Um, if you want to give it a second to figure that out, it's a little slow with how it processes it. I think what I'm gonna start doing is adding a for like if you're logging in for the first time, uh, or sorry, when you're adding a loading screen until it actually finishes processing that query. Because otherwise, yeah, people are gonna look like it's gonna look like their screen is frozen, and that just really kind of runs down to the type of server it's running on, and also my skull not being the greatest at pulling databases. But yeah. Anyways, tomorrow we'll have more updates. We'll work on more things, and yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' feedback on if you get into the world and if you're able to play, and just doing some level up stuff, you know. Actually, it's not even gonna have a character for you now that I think about it. I just created one for you because it won't be able to pull your data out. And I'm gonna give you a main hand and an offhand. It won't show up in your game right away, but if you re-log in, essentially that same method of closing your game out, logging back in, typing in your login information, then going to the console and hitting open, it'll log you in with your new character, with the stuff equipped. So your main hand and your offhand. Okay. For now, I'm going though. Here's a 60-second ad break. Sorry to hit you guys with that. I appreciate you watching. I'll be on tomorrow, possibly longer than I was today. So, excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, thank you so much. Good night. I know some of you guys have ad blocker on too, so. Yeah, I'm really kind of. I'll wait till that ad's finished, but really kind of disappointed in why it's not working. I don't know why, but hopefully I'll figure this out soon. Also, gotta reset the index. All right. Good night, guys. Thank you.